hello, how are you? Hi. This is a mental health Q&A chit-chat type video. Don't know what the fucking... You know that. You knew that already. You read the title, I assume. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't have training to be a therapist. I haven't even taken like a psychology course or class or anything like that. I'm just a big dumb gay baby on the big dumb gay internet. And we're gonna chit-chat about things because for some reason people trust my opinions. That's good enough. If you are looking for a therapist, I will link what I use, which is BetterHelp. I really like it. It's really affordable. I mean, it's pretty affordable. It's more affordable than normal therapy is, at least. It's like around $60 a week, but you have access 24/7 to your therapist pretty much. They'll reply whenever they can. You could do like certain sessions, or you could just do what I do, where I just like talk to my therapist the way I would talk to a friend, even though we're probably not friends and I'm probably reading way too much into our relationship. But you can just like be like, hi, what's up? I'm anxious. And then you could be like, oh yeah, what's wrong? Why are you anxious? It's not like it doesn't have to be professional. Sometimes it's professional, it's weird. She'll be like, hi Olivia. And I'm like, you can just be like, yo, what's up, Anyway, I'll be linking BetterHelp in the description down below. I'll also be linking like the suicide hotline and other links like that. BetterHelp, I'm not partnered. That'd be cool. This isn't sponsored. That'd also be cool. It's not to be used in emergencies. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm having mental problems. Please help. And it's like, okay, here's how I can help. It can't prescribe you meds, obviously, because it's a therapist, but some people might not know that. So, there you go. You can't use it like a suicide hotline. So if you're in an emergency, I hate you guys, I'm sorry. If you're in an emergency, don't use it. Was that clear? Was that understandable? Who knows? Okay. Let's get into the questions. I was going to script this and like sort them into categories so I could have like all the anxiety questions with the anxiety stuff, right? But then I was like, that's too much effort. So I'm just going to start from the tippy top and work my way to the bottom. All of these are on Curious Cat. The majority of them are not anonymous, but just to make things easier on me because I'm lazy, and also just so like, if anyone wants to say, oh hey, that question was me in the comments, you can do that. But I was just like, for everyone's sake, I'm just going to keep all of it anonymous because it's mental health and I don't know. The first question, this is hard to read. You guys are here, obviously, and I'm using my monitor instead of my phone because Curious Cat doesn't really work on phones. Please get on that. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Okay, first question is, do you have intrusive thoughts? And if so, what do you do to get away from them? I am frequently haunted by intrusive thoughts and struggle to escape them. Let me start. Okay, so a lot of these questions are really good questions, by the way. I was expecting like, hey, I wasn't expecting like bad questions, but they're actually like nice, in-depth questions that you would ask probably a therapist. And again, I'm not a therapist. So if I say, wow, this is a really good question, like on all of them, it's because they're really good questions and I love you guys. I do have intrusive thoughts. I feel like everyone usually has intrusive thoughts. Like it's not just like a symptom of, they are symptoms of mental illness as far as I know. I assume. But pretty much everyone gets them, I feel, at like some point. I get really, when I'm in Ubers or like Lyfts, I get like intrusive thoughts of like the car crashing, mainly because it's like, I don't know this random person and I have my entire life in their hands if they drive badly. So that's pretty much it. That and like walking near danger, like by the ocean, like on a cliff by the ocean, or like on something tall, or like near trains or cars, like that kind of thing where it's like immediate possible danger. I don't really know how to get rid of them. I just kind of ignore them. No, it doesn't work all the time, but I just do my best to be like, that's stupid. the best way for me is pretend it's like an edgy 12-year-old. Like, remember how you were when you were an edgy 12-year-old and you were like, I'm gonna crash the car. And you're just like, shut the fuck up, Jeffrey. That helps a lot, actually. It kind of, like, to give your intrusive thoughts its own, like, persona. Like, it's not you're a nice, wonderful person. It's just the stupid part. It's like, hey, you should crash your car. It's like, Jeffrey, shut the fuck up. I don't need to do that. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's the best way I can do it. Some people have other ways. Again, this is all my opinion. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that usually helps for me. Other than that, I kind of just, like, pay attention to something else until my mind is like, oh, that's not a thing anymore. You know? Okay. I hope that helps. Fuck. Mental health question. Do you think it's possible to recover from trauma or deal with depression without seeing a therapist? That depends person to person. Like, everyone's different. So if I give a certain tip, it might not work for everyone. It might work for, like, one or two of you, but the rest of you might be like, that's fucking stupid. Which is fair. Everyone's different. So I think it just depends on how well you cope with your stuff. I do think most people need a therapist. Even if they're not, like, mentally ill, I think therapists just help. Like, whenever I just, like, feel stupid, I'm like, hey, therapist, I feel stupid. And she's like, well, why do you feel stupid? I'm like, this is the reason. And she's like, okay, well, here's how to fix that. And I'm like, thank you, therapist. It's helpful to have a therapist or, like, a friend to vent to. But again, a friend to vent to is not medically trained. Are therapists medically trained? They're not trained to be a therapist, is what I'm saying. Oh, God. So, yeah. It's possible, maybe. It's definitely not impossible, I assume. I don't know about the trauma part, but the depression definitely. Because, I mean, I've only recently gone to a therapist, and I've been, like, my depression's been, like, the worst it's ever been lately. Like, it seems like it's fine, but it's, like, it's just because my depression started manifesting itself in a different way. And I think if I didn't have my therapist, it would be a lot worse. But I've also had depression for, like, several years, and I was, like, not dead before, so it depends person to person. I'm gonna say that a lot. Are there any pieces of music or poetry that help you get through tough times? There are. I will maybe link them below. I really like button poetry, because I like spoken word poetry. Music, what music do I listen to? I like Paramore a lot. The After Laughter album has actually really helped me a lot. It's like, everyone knows this, but it's like sad shit, but happy. And I feel like that's a really good, you don't see that a lot, you know? It's good. I like Paramore. So probably Paramore or the Wonder Years. Or someone else. Who? Emma Blackery's latest album is really good. Icarus is like a fucking bop. I don't know. I'll put maybe links in the description. They do. I just don't know off the top of my head. Which is why this should have been scripted. I know that some days I can tell that I'm not feeling stable. Do you ever have days like that where you can tell you aren't really in control? What do you do with yourself on those days? On days where I'm like, oof, my brain does not like me, I will usually, it takes me a while to be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not good right now. So let's say around like, I got up at like 10. I don't sleep like normal people. Let's say I get up at like 10. And then, like, at 2 or 3 p.m., I'm like, oh, that's why I don't feel good. I'm mentally ill. So I'll usually, if I have the money to order sushi or other comfort food item, usually it's sushi for me. I don't fucking know why, but I fucking love sushi. Or, like, comfort food item. So I'll order comfort food item, sushi for me. And then I'll try to clean my room up, because cleaning my room up does improve my mental state, because when you have a messy room and you're like me and if you stay in your room all the time, if you don't stay in your room all the time and like say your living room's a mess and you're in your living room trying to have a nice day and you're like, ugh, no, cleaning your living room can help. Usually it improves mental states because it's like clutter, so then it's like clutter in your brain. This is so white mom self-care, but it helps. So cleaning your room, comfort food. I usually turn on a show that won't spike my anxiety or anything. Like, I wouldn't watch Supernatural or Criminal Minds because they have scary aspects and I'm a baby and they can sometimes make me more anxious. So I'll turn on like something like Steven Universe. I bumped you guys again. Like Steven Universe, or fucking what the fuck do I watch? YouTube. I watch just YouTube and Criminal Minds, and that's about it. But YouTube, nice, happy, fun videos, or fucking just Vine compilations. They help a lot. They help more than you would think. And especially when you're like having like a mentally ill episode. My brain doesn't want to focus on more than like 6 to 10 second things at a time. So then it's just a bunch of 6 to 10 second things. And it's usually stupid, fast humor, and it makes me laugh. And I just, why am I explaining Vines to you? You know exactly what I mean. That usually helps. What else usually helps? If I haven't showered in at least 2 days, I will shower. Or I'll try to shower. Washing my face also helps. Going for a walk actually helps a lot. I've been trying to go on daily walks because I'm trying to work out and not be sitting in my chair all day. And especially when I'm sad, going on walks helps a lot. There's been times where I've been up all night from like really bad anxiety, and me and my roommate at like 5 a.m, we'll just walk to the beach. We're like a 10 to 15 minute walk from the beach. It's not like an actual like beach, but it's like the ocean. There's like a little playground, right? And we'll just walk there, and it's like so peaceful, calming. The world is kind of asleep still, so it's like. Over the years, have you learned any tricks to help you cope with meow? Over the years, have you learned any tricks to help you cope with your anxiety? A few. Like I said, watching Vines or something helps a lot, because like I said, when you, just for me personally, having something stupid and like quick to watch that's like constantly changing helps, because then I'm focusing on that over my anxiety or depression or anything else. What do I do with anxiety? See, it's always one of those things where it's like, I don't know what I do to help my anxiety, but I do something, and then it's fine. Like I said, walks really help, all that kind of stuff. Also, for the last question too, actually, some days you just need a bed day. Some days there's days where you're like, nope, stayed in bed all day, and that helps, because people need to recharge. And even if you sleep a lot, sometimes you still need to recharge. Your body is, just treat your body like it's a small little baby. Babies sleep a lot. You are also a baby. Sleep a lot. It's fine. No one's going to yell at you. And if they do, tell them to fuck off. I should not be yelling. It's not even 11 yet. Hopefully you don't wake my roommates up. Okay. What are your thoughts on self-diagnosis? This was a question that when I got, I was like, I don't know how to answer that. Because, in my experience, all the people I've seen that self-diagnose are like 13 to 15-year-olds, again, on Tumblr, who like don't really have the ability to go and get like mental health care. Right? So it's like, I don't want to shame them. I don't think you should. And if you can, please go to a doctor. Doctors help a lot. But I also, especially because self-diagnosing, there's another question regarding self-diagnosing, but self-diagnosing can kind of be like a rabbit hole. You'll be like, oh, that feels like me, or that feels like me, and then you have all these mental illnesses that you might not, and you probably don't actually have, but because you've like pinpointed all of them to you, is that the correct word? I don't fucking know. You kind of make yourself feel worse, if that makes sense. Like, while yes, self-diagnosing can kind of be like, oh yeah, I do that, like you feel validated. It can also be like really toxic and bad. Toxic and bad are the same things. It usually isn't good. But again, most of the people I've seen that self-diagnose are 13 to 15-year-olds on Tumblr that don't have the ability to go get a doctor or mental health care. So I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a terrible person for doing that. I'm just going to be like, please go get a doctor, because that might not be helping you after all. If that I'm a nice person. I don't want to yell at 13 to 15-year-olds. Okay. What is your definition of happiness? This is hard because it's like, to me, this question is like describing a color without saying the color. I don't know what my definition of happiness is. At all. And I'm trying to think. I don't know, man. Why you gotta be asking me the definition of happiness? I've been thinking over this fucking question since I got it, which was 4 days ago. And 4 days later, I still don't fucking know. I don't... Okay, I don't know what my definition of happiness is. My definition of happiness is not wanting to die or being anxious. Does that work? I don't fucking know. What's your definition of happiness? What does happiness mean to you? I don't... I'm not a therapist. I'm not medically trained? I don't know. I'm not trained. I'm just a stupid gay baby who's sitting on her desk very uncomfortably to film a video so it looks nice and has good lighting-ish. This has okay lighting, I think. It's raining out, so that's what I'm gonna blame. Do you have any tips for overcoming the paranoia that can often come with anxiety? I have one tip that only I think would work for me. I do get really bad paranoia, especially when it comes to, like, watching horror things. Lucy, what the fuck are you doing? Especially when it comes to, like, watching, like, horror things like Criminal Minds or Supernatural. We're gonna get a little personal here. So, you know, in the horror movies, or just any horror scene, and there's always that very stereotypical scene where it's like you're in the POV of a monster, bad thing, going to kill the innocent person. There's times where I feel like that, where it's like, oh, someone's watching me and I'm about to die, which I feel like everyone's experienced at some point, but I experience it a lot. So what I've learned is doing a stupid thing helps. Like, not like dangerous stupid. I just mean, like, for me, I'll, like, wiggle my hand. Like, I'll do, like, something with my hand, sometimes my feet if I can't use my hands, and I'll just, like, wiggle it. My reasoning for this is you don't see that happen in horror things, so it's like, normally they're just minding their fucking business. They're fucking, like, cheating on their husband, robbing a bank, I don't know. They're doing their laundry, or they're cooking dinner, or they're like, Thomas, where are you? As they look outside for their cat. But oh no, what's that? It's not Thomas. And so, wiggling my body helps. It's usually my hands, sometimes it's my feet. Again, this won't work for everyone. This is just for me personally. It just helps me because it's like, okay, what makes this not feel like a horror movie? Wiggling. It's so stupid. Oh, it's so stupid. But it helps. I know I'm saying my shit is stupid, but that's because I'm me. If you do something similar, it's not stupid. I just like shit-talking myself. Which also isn't good. And you shouldn't do that. But yeah, that helps me a lot. I don't really know anything else. Breathing techniques help. My therapist gave me like a grounding thing, which is basically like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can smell, that kind of stuff. Probably not in that order, I don't remember. That stuff personally doesn't really help for me, but it helps other people. Like I said, everyone's different. Some things work for me, some things don't work for me, some things work for other people, some things don't work for other people. It's fine. With mental health video, what are some good self-care techniques or practices that you believe are most effective? I kind of talked about that earlier in the question that was like, what was it? Where it's like, I don't feel like in control of my brain. That's kind of similar. Again, like, for me personally, cleaning helps, hygiene helps, going for a walk helps, ordering or making, if you can, or just getting comfort food, but not binge eating. Not binge eating. It's just like, if you haven't eaten and you are hungry, get some food that makes you feel happy and comfy. Yeah. be nice to yourself, please. That's all. Just be nice to yourself. Do what you think you need to do. Again, if you need a bed day, you need a bed day. It's fine. If you're, like, okay, I don't work. I do internet stuff full time. So I can very easily be like, not getting out of bed today, right? Some people don't have the luxury of doing that, but if you're in a cool job or cool school, where you can be like, yo, I'm taking the day off, and you're able to, and it won't hinder your job or your schooling too much, you should do it. If not, get yourself a nice type of energy, like coffee. I don't think sodas, okay, whatever. Get yourself a soda if you want a soda. Get yourself some type of energy that's like, okay, I'm not sluggish, right? And just try your best. Take your meds if you have meds for self-care. It's very important. Should have said that first. If you have meds and you haven't taken them yet, take them. Usually, I've noticed from my roommates, I'm not on any meds right now other than like vitamins and allergy pills. But from just living with my roommates, I've noticed that, like, my roommate Amy, I think she's on an antidepressant, and there's some days where she's like, I feel really fucking bad right now, and her boyfriend will be like, well, did you take your meds? And she'll be like, nope. And so, yeah, take your meds, please. Make sure you take your meds. Set like a daily reminder on your cell phone, your computer, anything that you have access to. It's very important. Please take care of yourself. Is that all? I don't know what else to do. Yeah, just meds, hygiene if you are like some people and don't shower that often because of your mental illness. Clean your room or any part of your house if it needs to be cleaned. If you're in it a lot, it helps. Trust me. Comfort food if you are hungry. Water, so much water. Get water. Water is important. Yeah, maybe a bed day if you need a bed day. I often find myself looking at mental illnesses and pinpointing attributes that I relate to. By doing this, I feel like I'm adding more mental illnesses to the list of things wrong with me, even though I may not be affected by the illness at all. Other than talking to a therapist, do you know any ways I can stop making a problem for myself like this? Free mental health talk, by the way. One, my therapist, when I first started talking to her, she was like, okay, so you have depression, anxiety, and I was like, yes, but not diagnosed. Also, that's one thing that I should have mentioned with the self-diagnosis. If it's small things like anxiety or depression, I feel like it's okay to be like, yeah, I have those, because they're not as severe as like a personality disorder or something similar to that, or like psychosis. Again, you should definitely get it diagnosed. I'm working on getting a doctor. Thanks, Mass Health. But yeah, you should get diagnosed regardless. But yeah, I think it's fine to say you have depression and anxiety, because I have depression and anxiety. It's very clear that I do. But one, a therapist can't really diagnose you with anything. They can help, but they can't diagnose you. You need a psychiatrist for that. So my therapist, when we first started talking, she was like, so you have depression and anxiety? And I was like, yes, but like I don't have... Hello? Okay, we have a cat now. I love my cat. Okay, so she was like, why do you think you have depression and anxiety? And I just gave her the list of symptoms I have. And she's like, yeah, it sounds like you do, but I would get it diagnosed also. Like, she was like, yeah, that sounds correct. But she was also like, get a diagnosis, honey. Can you just sit still? I love him. So I don't know. The best way I've noticed to do this is, actually, I don't know. Trust me, it's really hard to stop doing that. I think a lot of people can possibly struggle with that. Can you just sit still? I think a lot of people can struggle with that, because at least all the people I know have definitely done that at some point in their life. So, what are you fucking doing? So I don't fully know how to stop yourself from doing that. But I do think getting a therapist, like I said, BetterHelp will be linked in the description if you can afford it. I do recommend it. It's really, really nice because I don't have to worry about going into like a session. Like I don't have like weekly sessions. I just talk to her whenever I need her help and she'll respond. Usually I talk to her at least 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes daily. And it's just like small conversation like, hey, how are you feeling today? Or hey, have you had any problems with anxiety or anything like that, right? And it definitely helps. Also, in my experience, your therapist will be like, don't fucking do that. They're like nice to you, but they're also like tough nice. In like a good way and not a stupid masculine way. They're always like, no, don't do that. Like, I told my therapist that a game gave me anxiety, and she was like, well, stop fucking playing it. She didn't swear. But she was like, well, don't play it then. And I was like, you're right. So I stopped playing it. But yeah, I don't know, like, fully how to stop doing that. You could just be like, I'm not going to look up. One thing, actually, for sure. Don't look up mental illnesses. I know some of my friends have, like, been like, yeah, I Google search mental illnesses, like, daily. And I was like, what? Don't, unless you're, like, again, a psychology major or something similar, where you need to do it for your schooling or something. Don't do it. Just, like, at least try to stop yourself from doing it, because I know sometimes it's hard to get out of the habit of doing things. But yeah, just try to stop doing that. That's not helpful, and I'm sorry. But yeah, don't Google mental illnesses if you do that. Don't Google symptoms of mental illnesses if you do that. Try to get a psychiatrist so you can actually be diagnosed with problems that you may have. Okay, so this is similar to another question that was asked, but it's basically, how can you tell when your mental illness flares up, and do you have any ways to prevent it? Kind of the other way. Sometimes he specifically said, maybe you could talk about warning signs, red flags you see in yourself to let you know that your depression/mental health is deteriorating, and any coping strategies you have with this time. Again, it's pretty much all I said before. There are some times where I can tell that, oh, I'm anxious, and I don't know why. And again, usually I try to calm myself down. I'll do things, I'll take my mind off of it. Other times, I'm just like, my depression flares up, and I have no energy to do anything. So I'm just going to lay down and take a nap, and hopefully when I wake up, it'll feel better. And most of the time that helps. Taking naps help. Because a lot of times, when my body's like, yeah, you have no energy, you're just a symptom of my depression, sleeping helps, because then it's like, okay, thank you. Batteries are recharged. We're fine. The last question is off the top of my head, because it was on through Snapchat. Or not Snapchat, Instagram. The last question was basically, how do you be friends with someone who keeps pushing their friends away? I have problems talking to more than like 2 people daily, and those are like usually my roommates or my partner. So I know that what one of my friends did, my best friend Will, what he did whenever I like didn't want to talk to anyone because I was like, that's too much effort or anything like that, he would just send me like, hey, I hope you're okay messages, or he would just send me like cute pictures of things. Like, he was never like overly pushy, because he quickly learned being pushy with me doesn't really do anything. It just makes me be like, I don't like this, so I'm not going to talk to him. Yeah, just send like thinking of you messages. Said, hey, I'm just reaching out. I don't know how you're feeling, but I hope you're feeling good. I'm here if you need to talk to me. Or just small, like, things like that. Even if you live close to them and you're able to, send them a small gift. Like, nothing, like, too huge. Just, like, if they like Snickers, give them a Snickers bar if you see them. You know, small things like that definitely help. Because it's like, oh, this person actively wants to be my friend. Thing. Right? If they're an online friend, do what my friend Will did, which is basically like, hi, I'm thinking of you. I love you. I'm still your friend. I can talk to you whenever you need me. That kind of stuff. It helps a lot. It sounds cliche, but it does. What else did Will do? that was kind of it. He would always, like, invite me to stuff and be like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just telling you the offer's there. Like, he'd be playing video games, and he'd be like, do you want to play with us? You don't have to, but if you want to. And usually I would be like, sure. And just be nice. Invite them to things if you live near them or can send them things. Send them cute little gifts. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It could be a fucking candy bar. Or a Starbucks drink, or something like that, right? I know I said not expensive, and I mentioned Starbucks in the same sentence, but you get what I mean. Yeah. Anyway, if you liked these kind of, like, talking, sitting, chit-chat videos, please let me know. I do like these. This is kind of fun. I didn't think I would like it at first, but actually I like being able to, like, shit post with my mouth in front of a camera. So, yeah, we could do more Q&As that aren't regarded around mental health. It could be about me or other stupid things like that. If you want more mental health videos, let me know also. We can do more questions. I also, like, I use my Curious Cat. It's Navi with the one eye, just like my YouTube. And I usually answer all the questions there, unless they're gross or rude. So you can send questions there if you wanted to send a mental health question, but we're too late. I don't know what that was, but it was a hiccup, I think. So yeah, that's all, I think. I don't know how to sign this off. Yeah, if you would like more videos like this in the future, please let me know. I don't want to be like a stereotypical YouTuber and be like, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, leave a little comment, but it does help. Like, I like seeing comments from you guys. It actually is like, wow, I'm actually a YouTuber. I'm not just some stupid person that paints their face and then posts it on the internet. I'm like, oh, professional. I'm sitting on my desk right now. Don't have a tripod. Using a whiteboard to balance my camera. Not professional at all, but it makes me feel like it, you know? I'm hopefully going to do vlogs too at some point, maybe, possibly. I'm getting a tattoo in like exactly a month, almost, no, like 3 weeks. Ish. So I might vlog that. I'm also gonna get my hair done in like 2 weeks, so I might vlog that as well. I don't know. Would you like vlogs? Please tell me. I really like constructive criticism. Not mean one, but constructive criticism. That's like, hey, this is great, but also you need to fix this. Criticism. I'm sensitive. Please don't be mean. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I have other videos that are all makeup related. So if you're new and you clicked on this because it's like mental health, I do makeup stuff. Also, my Twitter, Instagram, and all that jazz is in the description where you can follow me. I'm very active on Twitter. My feed right now is all diva because her short came out and so much gay. Anyway, yes, thank you for watching. Cue the end screen. Like, comment, subscribe. Ooh, I'm a fancy fucking YouTuber. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you for being a gamer.